Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I am finishing up my Anthropologie inspired dresser transformation with an amazing custom layered paint job that is really going to be the cherry on top with this piece. I'll be piling layers of paint onto this piece to create the desired old world look that I'm going for. And then of course we'll have to bring those gorgeous embellishments out with a little bit of antiquing and maybe even some rub and buff. This painting technique is so easy, even a beginner can do it. So I'm going to change out of my good clothes and get this party started.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
This is part 2. I will link part 1 up there. Check that out if you haven't already to see what I started with and how I got to where I am right now. It's actually pretty incredible, and what a budget-friendly DIY. You'll be amazed. My rule of thumb with decorating is keep the big pieces, the expensive pieces, the pieces you cannot afford to continuously replace as your tastes evolve and change. Keep those pieces neutral, and then you can add your color through the decorations and the furnishings, the fabrics, all the good stuff. I left off with it having a coat of the primer on there. The primer is really just to give it some tooth, give that paint something to bite onto. The base color I chose is a Valspar color called Age Parchment, and I really liked the fact that it had a very old world antique vibe to the color itself. And I think that with the other colors I plan on adding to this is going to be a fabulous, versatile, neutral piece that I will have for years to come, because it's going to be timeless when I'm done. Now I want to apply 2 coats of this base coat to it, but it's very important you want to let it dry thoroughly in between each coat. Otherwise, you're just gonna pull that first coat off, let it dry, go over it with the second coat, let that dry, and then I'll start the glazing layers, which is where the character is going to come from and really define this piece. I mean, this is already amazing, but it's going to be even more fabulous if you can imagine that.
Looking through an hourglass, changes of the riverbanks.
my 2 coats on here, and I'm actually gonna let this sit overnight and cure, but it'll only really be a second in your world. I'll be back before you know it. And just like that, it's morning. Now comes the fun part. I am going to start layering on the different paint colors and creating the character to this piece. Now I am just going to use clear glaze. You can get this at any box store. You just want to make sure that it's clear. I ended up finding the colors, or maybe not the exact colors, but definitely within the scope of what I was thinking in the oops section. I have my aged parchment as my base. There's kind of like a creamy white. I'm actually going to use this layer last to mute all of the other layers I add on. And then there's like a sandy kind of color. It's actually not too far from the parchment, so we'll see about that. You can really pick any colors that you want, whatever you think is a good combination and cohesively go together. Let your freak flag fly. Pick whatever colors you want. It's all good. I am going to mix up some glaze and paint. I am actually going to start with my medium tone. If you've never worked with glaze before, 4 parts glaze to 1 part paint, mix it up. A little glaze goes a long way, so you don't need much. Wear your gloves with glaze. Trust me, it will get all over your hands, and it is kind of a pain in the butt to get off, so wear some gloves. And this is the sea sponge I'm going to be using. They come in many different shapes and sizes. I actually cut this off of a big one because I wanted a smaller one. You can also use a rag if you find that you don't like the look that the sponge gives. The rag will give you a softer look without so many defined circles and bubbles, if you will. It all depends on what you want. You really can't mess this up, trust me. I mixed my medium shade up with the glaze, and I'm actually going to apply that all over the piece using a brush. Now the glaze is slightly translucent, so this isn't an opaque color covering up the color underneath. There are layers on each other, and you will be able to see each layer as I apply it. The first layer of glaze is applied, and now we let it dry completely. For this next layer, I've mixed up some white with some glaze. I've got my sponge. I'm going to dip my sponge directly in the glaze, pat it down a little bit, and add it to my piece. Now for this, it's all about how firm you want to be or how soft you want to be. You can fade it right out. You can leave it heavier in spots. I like a varied look, so that's what I'm going for. I want to mention that my sponge is wet and I do have a bucket of water at my feet. I am going to rinse the sponge often in the bucket to clean it off because it will over accumulate with the glaze. And then instead of having it go on the way you want, you'll just be kind of pushing it all around. You won't be able to remove any or fade it out. It'll be too heavy in the sponge. So just keep a bucket of water, clean it out, and change the water often. If it gets too cloudy, you want to get some fresh water in there. Then have fun. I'm just going to cover this piece. Like I said, heavier in some spots, lighter in others, but I'm going to get a coat on everything. It already looks so different. I'm loving this. Everything dried, and I decided I'm going to add some antique gold rub and buff. And as you can see, it really does make a difference. Now, you might be thinking it's too much, but trust me, this is just one layer. There's still more going on top. But I really want to showcase the embellishments. Keeping this budget friendly and my expenses to a minimum, I'm going to reuse the hardware that came on the dresser. However, the color doesn't work for me, so I'm going to use my antique gold rub and buff, and I'm going to get a good coat on all of the knobs. I'm going to let that sit and cure for 24 hours, and that ensures that the color will stay on the knobs and not come off on your fingers. I'm going to let all the layers on this piece set up one more time overnight. Now for the distressing. Trust the process. It always works out, doesn't it? I am going to add some magnolia wax on here, but for this one, I'm going to use a darker wax. I actually like using her wax because it's hard. It's not a liquid. It's much less that you get on this piece. It's not as heavy as the glaze. You just got to find the brush that works for you and the amount that works for you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Here I share my passion for creating beauty in the mundane through creative homemaking. If you enjoy videos that feature realistic homemaking and some crafty DIYing all on a budget, then this is the place for you. I'd love for you to consider subscribing to my channel. It's completely free and it ensures when you pop onto YouTube, you'll find my videos easily. What do you say? Got nothing to lose, and I'd love to have you. Do you like painting? If a DIY has painting in it, is that a deal breaker for you? Or do you enjoy painting? Somewhere in the middle. Sometimes I really like painting and other times I'm like, ugh. I'm not gonna lie, a little tired of painting this piece, but we are literally on the home stretch now, so I'm not gonna complain. I am obsessed with this finish. It has just the right amount of character, just the right amount of patina. It came out absolutely gorgeous. The color of it is absolutely beautiful. I love that you can see every single layer that I put on this piece, and it reminds me of like parchment paper. Like if you know what parchment paper looks like, that is exactly what this finish looks like in person. Phenomenal. Totally giving me the French country old world vibe, and I really couldn't be happier. I actually like it better than the Anthropologie piece. I definitely like the price better, but aesthetically, I actually like this one. Which one do you guys like better? Let me know. The entire cost for this piece is under $20. Compared to a similar concept type dresser such as the Anthropologie one that inspired this, I'll take this one every day of the week. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of it? Do you like the finish? It's not for everyone and I do get it, but this is the vibe that I'm going for and that I love, and it's exactly what I want. So I am super happy with it. I am going to put a clear coat of wax on this and style it up. I love the direction the bedroom is going in. I am so happy with this piece considering it started looking like this and now we have this. Yeah, I'm still ahead of the game. I decided on a wall treatment for this room. It's not just a paint, it's a whole treatment and it's not a wallpaper. So I've got to get to work on planning that out. I'm dreading that. That's a lot of painting. So I hope you enjoyed this extreme dresser transformation. I hope to see you guys back here next time for some more spectacular things. What exactly it could be? I'm not sure. Will I go thrifting and show you? Will I do work in the kitchen? Will it be another room in the house? Come back and you can find out for yourself. Once again, thank you so much for joining me for another extreme furniture transformation in my quest for my French country bedroom on a shoestring budget. And by golly, I am right on track. Again, thank you, and I will see you guys next time.